That was loud.
That
Sorry.
was aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Hi guys, I'm Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with all of you my Quarantine-A-Thon TBR, and I decided to get Aaron involved.
Yay!
Because he's been reading more lately, I've been reading a ton lately, and if you haven't heard yet, the Quarantine-A-Thon is a readathon that's happening from May 3rd through the 30th. That is being hosted by April from Getting Hygge With It. I will link the video down below as well as April's channel. Be sure to go check it out. There are 4 prompts for the 4 weeks that the readathon takes place, so if you're interested to see what Aaron and I will be reading, then go ahead and keep on watching. Prompt number 1 for week number 1 is read a book that explores the hard times humanity has faced before. We will get through this together. And I will be reading and picking up a book that has been on my shelves for
a hot minute.
A long time. I'm pretty sure this is one of the books that I might have hauled like in my first hauls ever on BookTube. And that is, I gotta hold it over here, The Widow of the South by Robert Hicks. This is based on a true story about a woman named Carrie McGavick in the 19th century who had the Battle of Franklin fought on her home plantation during the Civil War, and her home kind of becomes a hospital for all the Confederate soldiers. She meets another soldier and falls in love, it sounds like. It's a very Amy book, and I've been reading a lot of books about the Civil War lately, so I'm looking forward to this one and happy to have an excuse to read it when it's been on my shelf for so long. So fingers crossed it's a good one because I've held on to it this long.
And the one I picked up was the graphic novel Mouse by Art Spiegelman, which is an anthropomorphic retelling of the Holocaust, essentially, with mice and cats.
Yeah, and it's based on his father's story.
Correct.
So this is not fiction.
Correct.
I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. I have not read it yet either, and I should get around to it. But you're planning on reading both volumes?
Yes, I'd like to read both volumes. Also, can we just be proud of the fact that I said an anthropomorphic retelling?
Yes, very good.
That's a pretty...
Where the cats are the Nazis.
Cats are the Nazis and the mice are the Jews.
Okay.
So, very excited.
And prompt number 2 is read a book about a character who would be at risk from the coronavirus. Stay inside for them. Go ahead, you can go first.
So I picked up The Secret Diary of Hendrik Rowan, 83 and a quarter years old.
And the translator.
The translator.
It's translated from the Danish.
Translated from the Danish by Hester Velmans. Velmans?
Yeah.
Yep. He's a crotchety old man in a retirement home. And those are his stories.
A lot of you probably know that I've read this and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to get Aaron to read it for a while, and I think he will really enjoy it. The discussion on aging and how the elderly are treated is really, really well done. And this book will simultaneously break your heart, make you think about some really, really difficult, hard questions that maybe you would rather not, but also like laugh your ass off, if I'm being honest. So I think Aaron will enjoy it a lot. So what I will be picking up is the Book of Essie by Megan McLean Weir. This came out last year, I believe, or 2 years ago. And this is about a 15-year-old girl who ends up pregnant. But what's really interesting is that her family is this really conservative Christian family that has a reality TV show. And so it's about how they choose to deal with Essie's pregnancy. And as most of us know, women who are pregnant are at risk from the virus, obviously, hence why I picked this book. I don't need to be redundant. But Matthew from Matthew Sharapa just recently talked about this book when he talked about some of his favorite books that he's ever read. And this one has intrigued me for a long time. So I recently purchased it, and I'm very excited to have an excuse to get to read it. I said that about the last book too, but it's fine.
Yep.
The Book of Essie. Prompt number 3 for week number 3 is show essential workers some love by reading a book about an essential worker as a main character. And come to find out, I don't have a whole lot of books on my shelves about essential workers, mostly about doctors and whatnot, so maybe I need to branch out a little bit. But I decided to pick up The Tiger's Wife by Taya O'Brett. This was a pretty big deal book back when it came out, I believe. Oh, it's blurbed by Ann Patchett. That's a good sign. But in this story, we are following a young doctor who goes to, what country? A Balkan country to do some work, but in the process is learning about what happened to her grandfather and kind of the mysterious circumstances around his death, and there's these secrets, and it just sounds really, really tense in a good way, and to focus on family, which I always enjoy. So yeah, The Tiger's Wife. What are you reading?
Can I say that I've already started it?
Yeah.
I've already started it. Sorry.
There are no rules, babe.
There are
no one's
no
gonna
rules.
come. The booktube, we don't have police. No one's gonna come for you.
Man, I don't know. So I am currently reading for an essential worker. I am reading V for Vendetta. And the essential worker in this case is the detective. I believe it's Detective Dascombe.
Who's the book by?
Oh, sorry. It's by Alan Moore and David Lloyd.
With
Steve Whitaker and Siobhan Dodds
Okay.
as the artists.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yep. And this is a ye olde collection copy, and it has some really good smells and floppy flops to it, as Amy likes to affectionately call them. Floppy flops, technical term.
I've never said that.
I know. But yeah, so it has a one of the main inspectors is a detective to discern the identity of codename V, and just kind of follows that whole story over the course of a year.
Prompt number 4 is read a book about what you miss most from the normal world, live vicariously through it. And I could have picked a whole bunch of books, but there very quickly became a theme of books about schools and that kind of thing. So needless to say, I am missing my preschool and I'm missing my students very, very much. So I decided to go with a book that's a little bit more lighthearted, as it is a middle grade, and another one that has been on my shelves for quite a few years now. And that is The School for Good and Evil by Somam Chinani. I'm another one I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, but there's two best friends, Sophie and Agatha, and in this world that they live in, all of the students are either sent to the School for Good or the School for Evil. And come to find out, when they're sent away to school, each is sent to the opposite of what they thought they would end up. And that's the story. So I've heard mixed reviews about it, but it's about a school. I miss school a lot. I miss my students a lot. So hopefully there's a little bit of whimsy and fun in this one that I'm looking to get out of it, and some really nice school atmospheric vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I am trusting my wife. I'm really missing friends and hanging out and being with people who I enjoy spending my time with. And Amy has been suggesting for quite a while that I read this book, which is The Trouble with Goats and Sheep by Joanna Cannon. And it follows a couple of young girls, I believe.
Yeah, they're 12.
10?
10-year-old
girls. Just kind of unraveling the mysteries of their cul-de-sac and neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it sounds just kind of fun, and being together with friends, and I need to just hold that up because I don't film in front of the camera, so I don't know what I'm doing. So it seems like it would be fun. Amy's been strongly suggesting it, and she's loved it, so I do default to her knowledge for this. So
yeah, funnily enough, this was a buddy read with April from Getting Hygge With It, and we both absolutely adored it. And you get to really just enjoy the friendship of Grace and Tilly, while also unraveling what happened to their missing neighbor, Mrs. Creasy. And this book is really compelling and but also simultaneously very sweet, because our narrator is a 10-year-old. So you have to consider that there's this naivete, however you say that, to the lens of our narrator, and it's really fantastic. And I think Aaron will get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
And Aaron will probably
I'll
do a lot of these on audiobook,
Yeah.
not the graphic novels.
No, can't do those on audiobook. But I'll probably do those on audiobook when I'm,
Driving to and
from work, mowing the lawn, doing yard work. Should be fun.
Yeah. So if you guys are planning on joining in to the Quarantine-A-Thon, please let me know what books you are looking to read, or if you have any recommendations for other people that would fit these prompts, leave those down below in the comments. But if you guys like this video, go ahead and like it, and if you loved it, please subscribe, and we will see you in my next video.
Happy reading!
Happy reading! Loki, can we not chew on the ball while we do this?
I can smile and wave.
Smile and wave, boys.
Smile and wave, boys.
Smile and wave. What is this book even about?
You have come on. Do your homework.
Okay, prompt number. Oh, your head was not even in the frame.